Madison. Coming up next is the Access Hour.
Welcome to the Access Hour, where each week we offer you the opportunity to take command of the airwaves. Everyone is invited to submit their program ideas by calling the station at 256-2001. Do it now during the show or during normal business hours. We'd like this show to be as unpredictable as possible, so we need your creative ideas. It's a fair trade. You give us your muse, and we give you the facilities and any help you need to get your show airborne. So get those synapses firing, and when the inspiration for some phenomenal radio lights your creative bulb, pick up the phone and call us. Right now, it's time to begin another foray into the freest form program on the WORT schedule, the Access Hour.
Welcome, everyone, to the Access Hour here. Jason Hafeman and friends, all hour from Project Home. We're happy to be on the program tonight. Thanks to Ken Rainier and WORT for this opportunity. We really, really are looking forward to the hour to talk about Project Home, what we do in this community, and all the people that help us do some good for Dane County and Greene County and all the communities in between. So we're going to start off by introducing ourselves, telling you who's in the studio right now, and then we will have some interviews, some people on by phone throughout the hour, and we'll get to talk to a lot of different folks. So first of all, I'm Jason Hafeman. I'm our outreach specialist at Project Home, and it's been a wild year, but we're doing a lot of projects in my department, and we'll tell you about some of those as we go on, and we'll pass it around the room.
Hi, I'm Philip Downs, Assistant Field Supervisor with Project Home. And now here is...
Hi, I'm Reagan Jacobson. I'm the Intake Specialist at Project Home. Excited to be here and attempting to live tweet. So send us a tweet and I'll try to catch it.
And I'm Adam Wisey, the other Assistant Field Supervisor at Project Home. And thanks for having us back one more year.
Yeah, we really appreciate this opportunity to talk about all the things that we do. There's a lot to talk about as you look at different programs that are county programs, state programs, city programs, and then some additional privately funded volunteer programs that we operate. So if you don't know about us, hopefully you're listening tonight, and you'll know more when you're done. We're going to kind of start off with one of the biggest programs that we operate, and that is the Weatherization program, which really focuses on energy efficiency upgrades to existing housing stock. And weatherization is specifically for low-income people in the area. It's a statewide program. All 72 counties are covered under that. We cover 2 of the counties. That's Dane and Greene counties. And I just want to kind of get Adam and Phil involved here because they are 2 of the people that work on this program every day. First of all, why don't you, Adam, tell the people at home a little bit about what weatherization is and kind of, what are the main points of emphasis for that program?
Yeah, thanks, Jason. The main point of weatherization and what is weatherization? So weatherization is really making a home more energy efficient, more comfortable for the homeowners, addressing health and safety concerns for the homeowners, improving comfort, durability, and really just reducing the overall energy use, and hopefully by doing that, making the home more affordable to live in and keeping people in their homes longer.
And I know a big emphasis, Phil, is, when we take a look at doing that type of weatherization work, is making sure that we're reducing the energy consumption of that particular building. So what are some of the main things, the most cost-effective things, and the points of emphasis of the program in terms of actual work that is done to make those things happen to a house?
Well, there's a lot of things we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at the heating system, making sure we're replacing old, inefficient heating systems, whether that's an old furnace, an old boiler. That's probably your biggest impact on what you're going to see on your monthly utility bill. After that, we start looking at the building shell. How much attic insulation do you have in your attic? Do you have enough? We can add more. We like to bring it up to energy codes, and then we look at your wall insulation. If you don't have any insulation in your walls, guess what? Your walls right now are pretty cold. So one of the ways we improve the comfort, again, add insulation to the walls. Your walls are going to feel a lot more comfortable, and then you're gonna feel comfort in your home. You're not going to get these drafts that you feel sometimes. And then a lot of the up and coming thing, which is really affecting a lot of people's homes, are the electrical use. With the electrical costs rising all the time, getting at replacing light bulbs to compact fluorescent light bulbs, replacing old inefficient refrigerators, that's where you see the impact really throughout the whole year on your energy use and your utility bill.
And Adam, Phil covered a lot there, but one thing that we know too that's really, really important with weatherizing a home and making it more energy efficient is air sealing. And a lot of people know about insulation, but they don't think about the air sealing component. Just tell people a little bit about why that is so important.
Sure. Everybody knows about insulation. There's commercials on TV about it all the time, but nobody has commercials about air sealing. So if you have air flowing through your insulation, it still continues to draw the heat off the insulation and makes your insulation really ineffective. So in order to properly weatherize a home, properly make the home more energy efficient, you need to both air seal and then insulate. So air sealing, basically when you construct a building, there's a lot of voids and gaps in between the framing and the different building components, whether that's the wall or the attic. But, we have to go through and seal up all those cracks and gaps with various forms of sealants and caulks and expanding foam and different materials to stop that air movement through the insulation that's going to be installed.
And Phil, when you look too at some of the other components of this program, I mean, we're not just talking about your standard house that this can be done on, right? I mean, what types of buildings are we working on out there in weatherization?
Yeah, the weatherization assistant program works on basically all types of housing. We work on mobile homes. We can do a great deal of help on mobile homes. We work on duplexes. We work on 4-unit buildings. We work on 3-story buildings. We can work up on a building up to 24 units in total. So pretty much if people are living in those buildings in Dane County, Greene County, we are going to be able to help them out and weatherize their home.
I know Reagan's busy tweeting over there and getting some things going, but Reagan, tell people a little bit about, especially with this weatherization program, what is the process to get involved, to get on the list to be weatherized?
Yeah, in order to qualify to get someone's home or apartment building or mobile home weatherized, they also need to be taking part in a state-funded program called Energy Assistance. And that's a program where people who earn under a certain gross income limit can get some help to pay their gas and electric bills. And if they qualify for that assistance, they then also qualify for that weatherization program.
So energy assistance is that first step for them.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a number handy for that, or just refer to our website?
Yeah, the number is really easy. People can call 333-0333. That's the number in Dane County. In Greene County, they can check our website, because I don't have that phone number memorized. But yep, energy assistance is the first step in getting approved for the weatherization program.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there for Greene County. But I know all of it's on our website, projecthome.wi.org. One thing that's really interesting too is we kind of look at the work that's done and the things that can be done to a home. I mean, what type of impact, Philip, when we're looking at there's an average percentage, I'm sure, but how do we measure this impact that we do when we are able to air seal, insulate, and make a big change in energy efficiency for an existing house?
Well, we've got really good diagnostic tools that we can use. So we can go into a home, we can do a pre-leakage test, and then we can see, well, how much air sealing we're going to be able to get. We can get probably 25, 35, maybe even 40% air sealing reduction. And then we'll come in after our crews have air sealed, and then we run a post-test. And that's verification that the work we did was proven and effective. So that's probably one of the main ways. The other ways is we've got infrared cameras that we call heat cameras, that we can make sure that we got all the cavities in the home insulated. We didn't miss any cavities in the walls. We didn't miss any spots in the attic. That is the key component, to have that measurement that quality inspection through our program to verify we installed things properly and the home is really going to be affordable and efficient.
All right, I know we've all been in these places. We've all worked in attics, the four of us sitting here at this table. We've all worked in attics, crawl spaces, underneath trailers. Adam, give people out there an idea what it's like. Give them an idea about what those working conditions are like. I mean, it's a tough job, and people that do it, especially that are on our crews, they're very dedicated.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got some really great employees at Project Home, and really dedicated employees who are willing to go out there in these sub-zero temperatures and make other people's homes more energy efficient. And the days do get kind of long, especially in the extremes when it's really cold out, or particularly in the summertime when those attic temperatures are well over 100 degrees. So it's a backbreaker at times, but they are excited to come to work every day, and they're excited to help others, and it just speaks of the quality of employee that we have at Project Home and the dedication that they have to the community.
Reagan, when you look at how cold this winter has been, have we seen just an incredible number of people looking for assistance, especially once we got to these really frigid temps?
Yeah, once there's a cold snap, the calls really start coming in. And one thing that we like to emphasize with weatherization is this is work that we can do all year long. You don't have to wait for it to get cold. This is work that we can do on a home anytime during the year. So call us at any time. We'd love to start the process. And the great thing is you will see a difference in the comfort of your home no matter what time of year it is.
So talking about the process a little bit, Philip, how does that start once you get to that beginning step? And then you talked about some of the testing that we did before, some of the testing we do after. Tell people how that works.
Yeah, good. Once our customers are qualified for the Weatherization Assistance Program, it starts with the energy audit. Energy audit is going to come out there, look at the home, use our diagnostic tools, and check out and see what needs to be done. Then after that, our crews are going to come out, do the attic installation, do the air sealing, install the light bulbs. We've got contractors that can come out and improve the heating systems, replace water heaters if needed, and then you're walking through maybe one more electrician to come out and maybe look at installing a bathroom fan. And then, the key component for us walking through that sort of timeline is a final inspector to verify all work was done properly. And you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 3 months typically on average. Again, with the weather right now being what it is, there is the demand is high because the heating bills are turning up. People are getting those bills in the mail, and they're looking at them saying, whoa, this is a cold winter. What else can I do to help weatherize my home? So, again, this is our busy time of year, but like Reagan said, we work year-round.
Yeah, and as I'll talk to Adam again just quickly about this, we as private nonprofit in the area, I just want people to be aware that we do this low-income weatherization program. Those same strategies can be used on any house. And so Project Home, as a private nonprofit, has those services available to people of all income levels. So, if there's any interest in that, you just need to contact us and you can learn more. But Adam, one thing I wanted to touch on as well is we talked about all the energy upgrades, the comfort that can be obtained by doing this, saving energy, and with the weatherization work. But indoor air quality can also be improved through this process. And why don't you tell people a little bit how that works?
Sure, absolutely, Jason. Indoor air quality is really important, and it's really a big thing these days in the housing world. And, we can't just go in and add a bunch of insulation and tighten the houses up and not take the indoor air quality or the indoor environment into account any longer. We need to look at, how many air changes is this building getting? Are there any, volatile compounds stored in the building? Is there just excess moisture in the building? And Philip mentioned, maybe an electrician's going to have to come through to install a bathroom fan. Well, one of the easy ways to deal with the indoor air quality is to install an exhaust appliance like a bathroom exhaust fan to help get rid of any of this excess moisture or these other indoor air pollutants that might be accumulating in their buildings.
So that's weatherization and energy efficiency work in a nutshell when you look at our program and what we do. Again, the places to go for more information, our website's a great one. You've got projecthomewi.org. Again, that's important, projecthomewi.org. There are other Project Homes out there in the United States, so if you all of a sudden get on a website and you see a Virginia address or North Carolina or Pennsylvania, you got the wrong one. projecthomewi.org. There's a lot of good information there. The phone number, 246-3737. Again, that's area code 608-246-3737. And you can get direction to usually our intake department or whoever you're looking to talk to. Michelle at the office is great at directing people in the right direction. So let's move on to our first phone-in guest, as I think we've got her on the line. As we just got done talking about energy efficiency and what we are doing through these programs to help make an impact on the energy consumption in the area, there are other programs out there, and it leads me to bring a guest on, a friend, Jesse Claringbowl from the Madison Environmental Group, and some of their initiatives, and one of them is the ENACT program. And so I wanted to invite Jesse and welcome her to our program tonight and talk with her a little bit about ENACT. Hi, Jesse.
Jason. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on with us tonight. So, Jesse, why don't you tell people a little bit about the ENACT program and how it all got started?
Sure. So ENACT is a free community program that helps individuals live a greener life. It started about 10 years ago with a book called ENACT, Steps to Greener Living. And since then, it's just kind of blossomed and continued to help people around the Dane County area.
So who can get involved in this program, Jesse?
Anyone is more than welcome. Anyone that's interested in learning a little bit more about sustainability or saving money, saving energy, anyone's welcome.
And is it people, individuals at their home residents? Are we looking at businesses that can participate, or how does that all work?
Both can participate. We offer free workshops or lunch and learns that would fit well with businesses. And then with the book, we offer an ENACT team. So you can either read the book yourself and then use it as a guide to save water and talk about the 5 different chapters, or you can get together, and it's a great way to learn, meet your community members or maybe colleagues, and you meet like once a month and help each other out using the tips that are in the book.
And now, is there how active is are you or the Madison Environmental Group in guiding these people? Is there some additional guidance when they start to participate in this program?
Certainly, we're here to support them every step of the way. We encourage one or everyone to rotate in the team, kind of taking leadership roles, just to keep the team going once a month. But if anyone has any questions or needs someone to fill in, we're here to help.
And how do they contact you to learn more about this and get involved in the ENACT program?
Well, we have a bunch of information on our website, which is enact.wi.org. So it's ENACTWI.org. Or they can call us at 608-204-2888.
And this is the second edition book has been out, right? And so that's the most recent edition for people to look at?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that just came out in July. They can purchase it from our website, or if that's not an option, the first edition is available at many of our public libraries, and the second edition is available to view from our website.
And one other thing, when I was looking at, talking to you about this and also looking at the website, I noticed that you guys on the ENACT website have some blog entries and some really interesting ones. I saw there was one, about energy and water and how closely connected they are, and then also one titled "Flushable." And I was, I thought that was quite a good one for people to know about.
Right. So Madison Metropolitan Sewage District and Madison Water Utility are both 2 of our sponsors out of the 5. And so we love helping them share some resources about realizing things that go down our drain, end up in our lakes, and can have a greater impact than we realize.
Well, Jesse, I think it's great, the type of work you guys are doing. We really appreciate it, and thanks again for being on tonight and telling people about the ENACT program.
Certainly. Thanks again, Jason, for having us.
All right, that's Jesse Claringbowl of the Madison Environmental Group. We thank her for being on and telling everybody a little bit about another way that you can, do good and create a greener community here in the Madison area, and that's the ENACT program. There's more information again at www.enactwi.org. So I told you we had a bunch to talk about. We're just going to keep rolling at this point. Sloppy segues, I'll do them if I have to. Energy, we have this big program as well. It's really hot at this time of the year. Hot because it brings heat to people. So I think Brendan's on the line, another one of our coworkers from the office, Brendan Shoemaker, and we're going to talk to him about the emergency furnace program. Brendan, first of all, welcome to the program. We appreciate you taking the time to be on with us here by phone. Sorry we didn't have room for you in the studio, but I'm glad we could talk to you tonight.
Hey, no problem, Jason. I'm glad to be of help and to get on and give some information to the folks.
Yeah, the emergency furnace program. So people hear that and they say, okay, I get that it's an emergency situation. I get it's a furnace, but tell people, what is the timing of this and what exactly is it?
Sure, no problem. So the emergency furnace program is a program that we run in collaboration with the energy assistance providers in Dane and Greene County. And it typically runs from the 1st of October through the end of April, middle or end of April. Kind of depends on when the heating season goes. Now, the heating season started a lot earlier this year, as you can tell, probably about mid-September. So it has a chance that it could go even later this year, maybe into the middle of May. The emergency furnace program is available to any Dane and Greene County resident who own and reside in their home and they have a no heat issue with their furnace or boiler. When that happens, they are able to call their energy assistance provider, and once activated, the energy service provider sends out an HVAC contractor who's going to diagnose the issue within 24 hours. Typically, they're able to do a repair right then. Sometimes it's a replacement that would be needed for the no heat situation.
So we're talking about situations where a furnace crashes, a boiler's not working, the people have no heat at all, no heating system, active heating system that's working in the house. That's when this program can step in.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, that the resident has to own and has to reside in the home to be eligible. So if it either is a single owner-occupied home, or it could be a rental unit where the landlord lives in one of the units.
And forgive me if you touched on this, but again, the income guidelines, it kind of follows along with the 60% of the state median income, or what are the guidelines there?
It does. It's the exact same as it is for weatherization, so it's a 60% income guideline. And that can be viewed, if anybody wishes to view that, that can be seen at homeenergyplus.wi.gov, and that'll show you the income guidelines and give you more information on the program as well.
And I mean, what is the volume we're looking at for this program each year, annually? Approximately how many homes can we help?
Well, so far this heating season, we've done over 80 jobs between the two counties, which is higher than usual because of the extreme cold weather that we've had this year. Typically, we do anywhere from 50 to 75 by this time. Like I said, it's a little bit inflated this year just because of the extreme cold weather.
And have we talked to the Canadians at all about keeping their weather up there and not bringing so much of it down here?
We haven't, but I know a few Canadians, and I'll have a talk with them.
All right, Brendan. Hey, thanks for telling people about the emergency furnace program. It's a very valuable program. And again, people without heat, if your heating system is not working and you're a low-income homeowner that resides in the area, there is help out there. It's really important to know.
Right. And the numbers for that, I'll just give those briefly. Energy Services Incorporated is the Dane County Energy Assistance Provider, and their phone number is 608-267-8601. And if you're in Greene County, you can call the Greene County Human Services, and that number is 608-328-9393. And again, you can visit homeenergyplus.wi.gov to get any more information on any of the emergency furnace programs or any of the other crisis intervention programs.
All right, Brendan, thanks so much.
You bet. Have a great night.
All right, you too. That was Brendan Shoemaker, also of Project Home, letting people know about the emergency furnace program, that's out there. Again, a no heat situation. It's nothing to take lightly this time of year, especially when it's this cold. So if you're a low income, look that information up. There is help out there. You can find more information on our website, too, projecthomewi.org, about that program. As we move through a few other topics, I'm going to bring Reagan back in and use her expertise to tell you more about home repairs, because home repairs is another component of what Project Home does. So, Reagan, why don't you tell people a little bit about some of the home repair programs that are out there and are available?
Yeah, well, thankfully, Project Home also gets some funding to do home repairs for homeowners. There's a lot of people who, need some necessary repairs on their home that probably don't fall under the weatherization program. Weatherization is looking specifically at improving the energy efficiency of a home, but there's a lot of other upkeep and maintenance that needs to get done on a home that doesn't necessarily get covered by weatherization. So thankfully, we have some other programs that can help people with small things like small plumbing repairs, some accessibility work, if people need grab bars, railings, ramps, that type of thing. We also try to help people with those repairs. And the programs that I work with Project Home mostly focus on the city of Madison and Dane County. Those are also for homeowners, so owner-occupied homes that earn under a certain income limit, and people can check out those income limits if they go to projecthomewi.org, which is our website, and look at those programs, or they can give us a call at 246-3737, and we can tell them the qualifications and whether or not we could help them out with their small home repair.
What type of volume are we able to accomplish through some of those programs in the area through each year?
Yeah. Well, we get generously from the city of Madison, we get enough funding to do between about 80 and 90 home repairs, small home repairs each year for homeowners in the city of Madison. And then we also get some funding from Dane County itself to do home repairs outside the city of Madison. That program is not as large, so that program typically does between 10 and 20 home repair jobs a year. So a little bit, it depends on the location of your home, whether or not you're in or outside the city of Madison.
And I think it's important to note, too, that, we have the staff that can do these types of things. I mean, we have a certified remodeler on staff. So, when Project Home comes to do this type of help or this type of work on a low-income homeowner's house, it's going to be done right.
Yeah, our guys who are on staff are great, and our home repair staff especially is super experienced and has been at Project Home for a long time. So usually if there's a repair that needs to get done, they have seen it or worked on it before.
Anything else you want to tell people about the home repair programs?
Yeah, there's also some major home repair funding out there. So if people need really big repairs done on their home, give us a call. If they're in Dane or Greene County, we might be able to help them out with some more major rehab type projects on their home.
And what type of things are we looking at there?
Yeah, those are looking at really big things like replacing a roof, siding, foundation work, really big things like that wouldn't fall under our minor home repair program, but maybe would be a really significant, more rehab type job on a home. And those programs are also available for owner-occupied homes, so no rental properties. And those are typically more loan programs. But we also have a lot of those available for people if they want to give us a call and find out more about them.
So 246-3737. Ask for Reagan. She needs more calls.
Yep. Or send us a tweet. We'll try to answer your question on the air.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it's time for a music break. If you like that first tune that we opened the show with, here's another one. It's from a new music experiment called Countervoid. And they do have a Facebook page, so if you're looking for more information on them, Countervoid, Counter, separate word, VOID. Feel free to check that out if you want. Here's another flavor of their music.
Behind you through it all.
All right, back to the Project Home version of the Access Hour. Again, thanks to Ken and everybody here at the WORT organization for allowing us to come out and do this program. We really, really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about what we do and also give other people that are involved in helping us execute some of this stuff out in the community, the really good work, give them an opportunity to talk too. So as we look ahead, we're going to move on to some of our big volunteer programs that we do each year. Hammer with a Heart has been around. This will be its 13th year of Hammer with a Heart now, and we're going to reach a big milestone this year. I'm pretty proud of this, and I think everybody that works at Project Home and all the volunteers and sponsors are too, but we're going to repair our 100th Dane County home this year, and that's just pretty outstanding when you take a look at everything, because this is a program that is based on support from the community. We have companies, foundations, different places that we raise private money with and support us, and then we have these wonderful skilled groups that volunteer to take on a whole project at a house, and it's their baby. I mean, they take care of it. They handle all the work. They get a bunch of their employees involved, people from various groups that we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's just incredible. Last year we did 5 full roof replacements, repaired a 6th roof. We replaced 19 windows, 8 exterior doors. So we're repairing houses, making energy efficiency upgrades at the same time, and just allowing homeowners in Dane County to remain in their homes, the places that they've called home forever. So it feels really great to be involved in that type of work. So I want to invite and actually welcome Dave Beckangle to the program, because he is one of the original people to become involved in this, and Findorf has been involved since the start of Hammer with a Heart. So Dave, thanks so much for taking some time to join us tonight.
You're welcome, Jason.
Hey Dave, why don't you tell people a little bit at home about why Findorf and how Findorf got involved in the Hammer with a Heart program?
Well, like you said, it was one of the first people involved with the program. Actually, I was on the board when the inception of the program back in 2002, and it aligns pretty well with what Findorf really likes to do, is being part of the community. And also, we just happen to have several skilled tradespeople working for us, so it seemed to make sense to try to get people that work for us to volunteer, which has been successful every year we've been involved. We've got a big following that a number of them come out every year, and it's been just really great for them to get involved, and it's been great for the homeowners as well.
Yeah, you guys had an incredible turnout last year. I don't know if everyone realizes this, but 43 volunteers from Findorf signed up to help work on a house last year, and we had a big roof and a deck to work on, so we kept everybody busy. But that was just an incredible output by you guys, and just a good showing of what type of people you have on staff there.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the people I get to work with every day. They're really great. They really believe in being part of the community, and this is just one way they show it.
And I know Findorf also sponsors and has sponsored each year too to help contribute to the finances of these projects, and that's a component to this. I mean, so you put that in, and you guys also realize the value of putting money to it, and then also putting all the sweat equity into it as well.
Yep, we do. This is a great program. It really helps people stay in their homes, and I think that's what it's all about.
Dave, you've done a number of these, and you go on site all the time. What's one of your favorite stories from one of these projects out there?
I think one of the best ones was a gentleman named Marcus Johnson. We did his house in, I think it was about 2005. It might be off by a year here or so. Marcus was an elderly gentleman. He lived over on the east side of Madison. He had a very steep roof. It had like 4 layers of shingles on it that we had to tear off. But in conversations with Marcus during the course of the day, I found out his father actually used to work for Findorf. And so we gave Marcus a Findorf hat, a Findorf shirt. He gave me, after we were done with his roof, sent me a beautiful note, and he just thanked everybody for helping him stay in his home, as he said. But he also sent along a picture of his father working on a Findorf project, and I couldn't even tell the year, but I'm guessing it was in the 1920s sometime.
Wow, isn't it incredible? I mean, I know, I think I hear that from a lot of the volunteers, but just the people you meet and the transformation of these individuals after they receive this help. I mean, haven't you seen that to be one of the most rewarding things?
Absolutely. I mean, these people, they want to stay in their homes, but for whatever reason, there's financial challenges to trying to keep up with the repairs that we're doing for them. And by doing this, we're allowing people to live the way they want to live, and I think that's freedom for them, and they appreciate it. They really do. So.
Well, Dave, I have to say thank you again for all of your involvement in this. We're so glad to have ZZU and the crew back again for another project this year, and we're looking forward to that on April 26th this year. So we moved it off of the fishing opener, so I know that hopefully that's going to help people. They'll get to fish as well the following weekend. We've always been on the first Saturday in May, and now we moved it off so people can fish the very next weekend now.
There you go.
Thanks, Dave, for your time. We appreciate it, and all of your support. You guys are great.
Okay, Jason, thank you.
I just want to give everyone out there thanks again to Dave Beckengle from Findorf. I mean, they've been involved since the beginning, 13 years. This will be the 13th year of Hammer with a Heart, and it's just been a great run for them, and we can always count on them every year, so that means a lot. Looking at the sponsors so far this year, again, there is a financial component to this program. We've got to raise private funds to do these projects. There's material costs. There's other costs behind it, organizing, getting all these things together. There's a significant amount of volunteers that take part, so that really helps us use that money wisely and stretch it very far to do a lot of good. But these are the people so far in 2014 that have committed. There are opportunities to still sponsor, so if you're out there and interested in learning more about Hammer with a Heart, you can go to our website, check out the Hammer with a Heart page. Again, the website is projecthomewi.org. There's opportunities out there for you to become involved in this program. But so far, the EVU Foundation Incorporated, Findorf, as we mentioned, American Family Insurance, Heartland Credit Union, Community Shares, the Madison Area Builders Association, the Carpenters Union, Local 314, Wanakee Remodeling, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, Johnson Bank, Houseman Johnson Insurance, the Green Bay Packers, and Hooper Corporation and General Heating are all confirmed sponsors for 2014. So things are looking pretty good. More sponsors. We certainly could utilize some help, so we'd appreciate more. If you're interested, just check out the website. You can call us 246-3737 and look into that. Our media sponsors for the event, NBC 15 and Q106, who we had some great response to them from some listeners and getting volunteers out there, a radio group of volunteers from the community also helping. And our food sponsor confirmed Melio Sandwiches as well. They're going to do sandwiches for all 200-plus volunteers again. They did that for the first time last year, and they were crazy enough to do it again. So we thank them so much for being involved and making that type of commitment to our program. The one other thing I wanted to mention is our skilled crews, because we do have, like we said, some that sponsor and do skilled crews for jobs. That's Findorf, the Carpenters Union, Wanakee Remodeling, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, led by Tim Sweeney and also Lane. And then there is Brown Roofing and Siding, who's a skilled crew for us. And one more, which is from the Madison Area Builders Association, led by Al Terry, who will bring online now. Al, thanks for being involved in the program, and thanks for joining us tonight here for this WORT Radio Access Hour.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason.
Hey, Al, why don't you tell people a little bit about your involvement in Hammer with a Heart, because I know you've been doing it a long time. I think last year was the 10th year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So that was somewhat of a milestone for us. So, on my behalf, I'm just blessed to be able to give back to the community in which I live and work. But it is all thanks to the Madison Area Builders Association that makes this all possible on our end. They've been a proud sponsor of this event for the past 10 years, and like I said, coming up on our 11th year. And we've been doing this as an association of more than 700 members, and we are proud to be a sponsor for you.
Al, what is the reason that you guys keep getting such good participation in this?
It's just a way for an association of our size to give everybody an opportunity to show what they can do. And, they are, in my opinion, the best in their business as far as their abilities go. So I'm glad to have that many volunteers behind me each year to tackle some of the projects in which we have to do.
And you guys took on a huge project last year. I mean, you did a lot on your Hammer with a Heart house. I mean, can you top that this year? I don't know if you can.
Well, in order to top that, we'd probably have to build a house. But, we're just going to keep, hammering it out, doing what we do best. And, hopefully we can make a true difference in whatever house we have the opportunity to provide our service in, giving that homeowner not only a safe environment, but a higher quality of living as well.
And when you look at this program and what it does for people, I mean, what have you seen over the years, that what kind of impact have you seen it make for a person that receives, a new roof or a new siding or new windows through a program like this?
Well, in regards to that, Jason, the Madison Area Builders Association, it seems like we're getting more out of it than what we're putting into it. And what I mean by that is not only is it a good networking opportunity for our association, but it gives you an opportunity to actually, coincide with the community. In some cases, on some sides of towns in which you probably would never go on because you don't have business over there, now you get to interact with, different members of the community, and it not only brings our association closer together, but hopefully it brings the community closer together.
Al, you guys are great. You've been doing it so long. We're glad to have you back in 2014. Thanks for joining us tonight, Al.
I appreciate it. You have a good one.
All right. That's Al Terry from the Madison Area Builders Association. Again, another longtime supporter of Hammer with a Heart program. This will be their 11th Hammer with a Heart coming up. And for more information on that, you can check out our website, projecthomewi.org. Just look for the Hammer with a Heart page. There is information there. There's actually videos that tell some of the stories from the candidates from last year and the recipients from last year. There's plenty of things on our Facebook page. We post things on Twitter. So there's all kinds of information there about Hammer with a Heart through Project Home's website that you can find. A new venture that we're doing here, which I'm going to move on to now, is at Project Home, over the last several years, we've seen an increase in a need and people looking for help that don't have hot water. So when we looked at this, it was continually, we're getting more and more calls about it. There is no existing program to support that effort to help low-income homeowners with a hot water heater replacement. It can be very expensive for them to do it. Sometimes you're looking at, easily $1,200 to $2,000, depending on the type and size of water heater you're trying to install, with all of the costs that go into it. So that's a significant expense for anybody in that type of situation. And for the most part, we were not able to help. So we decided to take on an initiative here to get some support, and thanks to some great support from the Madison Gas and Electric Foundation, and then also the EVU Foundation Incorporated, and the New Glarus Brewing Company, we've generated some funds to be able to do some water heater replacements for people, especially when they're in situations where they have no hot water. But we couldn't do any of that also without our good friend from Project Home, Rich, who is on the line now. And Rich, I want to welcome you to the program and say thanks for all the work you're doing on this water heater effort, because it's really making a difference.
You're welcome, Jason. I really enjoy the work, and I like to see clients smile. It makes my day, too.
Now, Rich, I have to tell you, we kind of started this, and I was talking to you about it, and I said, well, let's generate this, and it's one thing that I've seen that's just blown me away is the response from the community. There's some recent press that's gone out here. We had a couple of TV encounters here, one with NBC 15, one with a story from Channel 3, and then there was a couple of newspaper articles, and the response from the community has been amazing. I'm humbled by it, to be honest with you. I mean, there are people contacting me saying, how can I help? How can I help get people hot water? So, Rich, what are some of these people saying to you when they've gone without hot water for such a long time, and then they get that hot water back? What do they say?
They are so happy. They want to give me a hug, but what do I do?
You're pretty dirty at that point, aren't you? I mean,
they are so pleased, thankful, and appreciative for what Project Home does into the community.
And you're the face of this now, because you're the one getting out there. So they want to give you the hug, and hey, that's great. This just shows the impact it's making. Rich, what's one of the best stories that you've had so far in one of these replacements? I mean, is somebody baking you 2 dozen cookies, or what's happened out there?
Well, this one lady, she had no hot water for 6 months, and I don't know how she did it. She was so tickled to see me put that hot water in, and she watched me, smiled the whole time, and even wanted to help me. And I said, well, maybe you could just talk nicely or whatever. I was just trying to have a conversation with her. So, yeah, it was a strange thing to see her not have water for 6 months, but she was very pleased at the end of the day when I got done.
Now, one other thing, Rich, because this is important, another reason why we wanted to do this is because people could go out and get a heater and try to put it in themselves. But there's a little to it. So you want to make sure there's a qualified person who knows what they're doing putting these heaters in. Otherwise, there can be problems, right?
That is correct.
what kind of things what are some of the key things that you know of that need to be taken care of in order to have this done appropriately? I know there's a gas shutoff valve that sometimes isn't there, and tell me some of the other specifics.
Okay, I think the number one thing is the gas, and down at the bottom of the water heater, there's a little orange sticker, and it says vapor sensor. Well, if that vapor sensor picks up any flammable gas, it's going to knock your water heater out, and you won't know it until you draw hot water. So once you draw hot water, you got to go down and figure out what happened, and most likely that vapor sensor is knocked out due to some kind of flammable gas. Other issues are the venting. If there's like any plug, anything in the venting outside where the exhaust goes out, that'll make your water heater not work properly.
Well, those are some of the big things. You lead me right into one of the key things is that another thing we look at for this program is if there are health and safety concerns because of a venting issue, that is another thing that we can address because that's not anything you want to fool around with. So a lot of times those things are identified by our weatherization crews when they go out and test a home through weatherization and then initial test. They can identify a venting issue, and then perhaps those are candidates for us to help out through this new water heater program. So thanks, Rich, for joining us tonight, and thanks for everything you're doing out there as being a part of Project Home. We're so glad to have you.
All right, thanks, Jason.
All right, that's Rich Lather of Project Home as well, talking about our new water heater program. Again, we just got started this year, and already, I'm serious. I was blown away by the response from the public. People out there in the community wanted to help. So thank you, everyone out there that has contacted us. And if you're interested in helping out with the water heater program, 246-3737. Ask for me, and I'd be happy to talk with you. So we've got another volunteer initiative or another volunteer-based program that we put on, and this one's in the summer. August 2nd is the date for the 26th annual Paint-a-thon. So Paint-a-thon's been around longer than Hammer with a Heart. 25th anniversary last year. That was a big milestone for us. Great to have. We've done in 2012, we painted our 500th house. So, this program's done the work. Over 500 homes, over 25 years. It's been in Dane County since 1989, and we wanted to keep going strong. We're looking to get to our next 500. So that's the goal as we continue on through here. Oftentimes these days we're doing around, 10 to 15 homes a year. We get some great help from Badger Painting, who does some painting crews for us. Also, Eric Welch Painting. Eric is always wonderful at leading a group of volunteers and helping to use his expertise on the project. And then right now we've got a couple of sponsors involved in Wagner CPAs to help contribute financially to make the program go. And then Hallman Lindsay Paints. And so right now I want to talk to John DeVries of Hallman Lindsay and get a little bit from him because Hallman Lindsay's been a great sponsor for us and a great participant. And John, thanks for coming on the program tonight to talk a little bit about Paint-a-thon and Hallman Lindsay being involved.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for having me on tonight. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, so tell me now, how do you guys get 100 or plus more gallons of paint organized in such a short period of time and get it all out to the right spots for us? I still am marveled how you guys do that every year.
Well, it's not always the most easiest of tasks, with the summer being our busy time of the year, but we're fortunate to have, 5+ store locations right here in Dane County, and we've got some great staff at all of our stores. So it's right in our wheelhouse.
And you guys have I've met a number of people that work there. You guys seem to get along really well. It's this great local company that, the atmosphere seems to be wonderful, and your employees are always happy whenever I talk to them. So, how do you guys pull that off? Is it something in the paint, or what is it?
Well, you know what, that's a great question. We have a great community that works right at Hallman Lindsay. It is definitely a family-run organization, and that trickles down to all of the staff. So it's a great place to work, and every day is just a tremendous amount of fun.
And when you look at this Paint-a-thon program and event, when you guys became involved in this, did you really see it as an opportunity to just, tie yourselves to an event and really give back to the community right here where your operation is?
Well, it's actually a pretty natural, fit for us. It was an opportunity that kind of landed in our lap. There was another paint supply company that suffered a corporate buyout, and they weren't able to help out in the ways they always had. And that was over 10 years ago, and Home and Lindsay found, was presented with a need. And, from there, it was just a real natural partnership with us and Project Home to help out with the Paint-a-thon.
And I just wanted to ask you, John, with the paint colors, now, does there really need to be so many names and so many different colors? Or, I mean, could we it makes it tough sometimes when I'm trying to talk to homeowners. Do you want this color or this color? And, it gets a little confusing sometimes for us. But I know you guys all get them all right.
Well, I tell you what, whoever picks those names out has a lot more fun at work than you and I do. But with over 2,600 colors, you'd be surprised how hard it can be to find the right one. We always say that, picking out the color is the hard part. Once you figure that out, painting is the easy part.
You know what was great is that last year when I got overwhelmed with that stuff, I just turned to you guys and your staff helped us out, showed us the color combinations. I showed them to the clients, and they said, that looks great. So it made our jobs easier. So we not only appreciate you being a sponsor for the event and donating all the gallons of paint that you do, but also for your expertise in making things run more smoothly. So thanks so much, John.
You're welcome. Always glad to help out.
That's John DeVries of Home & Lindsay Paints, and again, one of our primary sponsors for Paint-a-thon, and they've been helping us in so many ways for so many years in that event. Again, the 26th annual Paint-a-thon will be August 2nd. We're still working on projects and getting that kind of flushed out, but we anticipate it being another good year for that program, and with solid backing again, we will have that. If you are interested in supporting Paint-a-thon financially, there are opportunities to do that, to become involved as a sponsor. Just contact us, projecthomewi.org, and you can learn more about that as well. So we thought there was one other opportunity for us to try to help out some people out in the community, and that was by incorporating. We've got this coworker, Rob Corbett, who loves music. He's a well-connected musician, a really great drummer. And he said, I want to do this music event to raise money for Project Home. So he took it and ran with it, called it Blues Cruise, connected with WORT. It's a great event. This is going to be the third annual Blues Cruise coming up on July 27th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the East Side Club on Monona Drive. And it's a great event. We were there last year, and it was just outstanding. I mean, Adam was there. I remember we were kind of helping setting up Adam, and I was really blown away by how well organized it was, how many cool cars there were, and then the great music that was involved too.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob pours his heart and soul into this event, and he really does a great job with some of his friends and local musicians. There's bands all day long. There's amazing cars that a lot of the local community members bring in to show, and it's a heck of a good time. And there's great food. There's an auction, I believe, in the basement. So it's little something for everybody. And it's right at, like Jason said, at the East Side Club, right on Monona Drive, right on the lake. Beautiful event, and we really want to thank Rob a lot for all the work he puts into that.
Yeah, it was just a crazy amount of work that he does, and I mean, he's just going all the time. And if he ever catches you to talk about it, you better be ready to take some mental notes, because he just fires a bunch of specifics off at you. This is what we know so far. WORT DJs, a couple of WORT DJs are going to be involved already to spin records and MC. There's going to be there's going to be, I think he's looking at cars, trucks, and bikes this year. I don't think we had any bikes last year, but he's opening up to that this year. And then 3 bands currently, including a Paul Filipowicz blues band and the Blues Party, are all going to be committed to the event this year already. So July 27th at the East Side Club on Monona Drive, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Blues Cruise 3. And you can find more information about that online, or there is a Facebook page as well for Blues Cruise 3. So if you go on Facebook and type that up, you'll find some information there. Another thing that Project Home does in the community is, as a community service, we put together, with a sponsorship from MG&E to help financially support this, but we do classes, home maintenance classes and informational classes, primarily for homeowners in the area or people that are looking to buy a home, because it can help them with a lot of different topics on maintaining your home, also knowing what to look for if you're going to hire someone to do something at your house, and those are things to that can be really, really valuable to any type of person that comes in and takes an hour and a half session. These classes are all at our office, 1966 South Stoughton Road. There's more information on our website, projecthomewi.org, and we rope our staff into teaching a number of them where they have expertise. We get some other guest presenters to come in, and Phil, I'm going to bring Philip back in to talk about these because he actually taught a class earlier. It was actually late 2013, but our class season kind of starts in October and runs through March while it's cold out. And Phil, I know you did an important one on furnaces and boilers, and that was a really great class.
Yeah, Jason, it really was. It was at the beginning of the heating season, and what we have at Project Home is a training furnace. So what we do, we bring the training furnace up to the front of the class, and I encourage everybody, bring your questions in about your furnace. We talk about the components of the furnace, and a really good story from this training that we had, an elderly couple come to the training class, and that couple at the end of the class, she just wanted to know and practice how to change your furnace filter. And I was like, go right ahead. It's our training furnace. The filter's $1. You can put it in and out as many times as you want. If you want to break it, it's fine. Practice on our furnace. And that's what we want at these classes. We want the public to come in, bring in your questions, and we'll help them get them answered.
Yeah, isn't that a great part of it? I mean, you find people come in with their own personal questions, and they can get those answers from an expert.
Yeah, that's the key thing. We had about, again, 25 people coming in. We had basic questions to, hey, I'm thinking about changing out my boiler. What should I go with? Well, that's a big topic to try to dive into, but it's something at least we can start pointing you in the right direction.
And when you look at some of these classes, I know we've got another one coming up, which I think is going to be really beneficial to people and interesting for them to understand, especially based on the way winter was last year to where it is now. But that one's on looking at your utility bills.
Yep. Coming up next week, February 12th. Again, at Project Home from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Again, it's going to be a class on basically tracking and managing the energy use in your home. And that's a key thing to look at comparing the bills you're getting this year compared to what you paid last year. There is a gigantic difference, 30%, 40% difference depending upon when your billing cycle is compared to what people were paying last year, how much colder it was this year compared to last year. So what we're going to try to do with this class is try to have people take their energy bills and compare it to what a normal winter would be. What's normal again in Wisconsin? Well, we'll try to figure that out in the class. But again, the other key thing we've been talking about here is if you make some of these energy improvements, maybe on the electrical side or the heating side, you add insulation, you'd like to be able to say, compared to a normal year, I saved 20%. And that's the key part of this class, which will start to help people to figure out.
Yeah, those energy bills sometimes can be tricky to look at. So hopefully that class will help with that. We've also done some other things on other classes on attics and basements and how to deal with some of those things. A basic plumbing class, which was really great. And then we've got classes coming up on home inspections, kind of a general idea of what to look for. Another class on water and mold. Those two will be taught by Don Robbins, who's an expert on those type of things. And then a basic kind of spring home maintenance class, so you know what to do with your house and make sure you're checking all the right things after the snow clears. But Reagan, I know you've been involved in those classes too in the past, and I know you can tell us a little bit about how they go too.
Yeah, I can't say enough great things about these classes, and one of the amazing things about them is that anyone can come, and the people teaching the classes are really experts in their fields, so people can ask really specific questions. And that's the great thing about the plumbing class, the basic plumbing class. People can really get specific advice on replacing a toilet, or maybe they've got some really old plumbing on their house that most plumbers haven't seen before, or maybe they have some really specific questions about a water leak in their basement. They can really get one-on-one specific advice from a professional that they normally couldn't get for free anywhere else.
Yeah, it's just a great resource. And the people that come in and teach the classes, they put a lot of work into that course material. I mean, we don't hand it to them. They have to develop the class, and they come and they put it together for people in the community. So it's just a great resource and an outstanding thing. And it's free. Did I mention that? I don't think I mentioned that. It's free, everybody. So come on down. Project Home, 1966 South Stoughton Road. We'll see you this coming Wednesday, the 12th of February, for that utility bills class. And it's just a really good opportunity to get questions answered in particular. Well, we're almost to the end of our hour, so I got to say thanks again to everybody that was involved. I want to thank you, Philip, Reagan, Adam, for being in studio with me and sitting through this hour and lending your expertise. I've got to thank Jesse Claring-Boyle of the Madison Environmental Group, Brendan Shoemaker of Project Home, Dave Beckengel of Findorf, Al Terry of the Madison Area Builders Association, Rich Lather, also of Project Home, John DeVries at Hallman Lindsay Paint, and of course, or Hallman Lindsay Paints, excuse me, and of course, WORT and Ken, because without the station and Ken Rainier, we wouldn't be here. So thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. That's it. Project Home's Access Hour is over. Thanks, Ken.
Mm-hmm.